Simon Kimani is my real name. I was born in Kenya, but we traveled to the U.S. when I was just a baby. Then I stayed there until I was Kitu, 15 years old, and came back to Kenya. Simon Kimani is my real name. I was born in Kenya, but we traveled to the U.S. when I was just a baby. Then I stayed there until I was Kitu, 15 years old, and came back to Kenya. Went to high school, went to boarding. Imagine. Then cleared, and from there I got into music, and I think the music was in me. Like even when I was in high school, I loved I loved music, and I loved hip hop. So I just started rapping in Swahili and just doing my thing. And we used to go there used to be this club called Florida F2. So we used to go there on Sundays. Alafu ilikuwa na shika. Yo, they didn't sell alcohol on Sundays because they knew that the people that were coming there were under 18. But hey, it used to be packed. So that's where they would hold these rap competitions, music, talent competitions. So by then I was staying in K-South. Now K-South sounds gisty, but K-South is short for Kariobangi South.
Sounds so urban.
It sounds like Kule Westi Wapi. It's Eastland. So we stayed in Kariobangi South, and it was me, Abbas Kubaf, and Casey. So we just used to practice in the house. Then on Sundays we would go and perform. So I think we really got good. We were really good. And so the buzz about K-South really spread, and we kept winning the rap competitions. So I guess just like that, the buzz about us really spread. And we started going to the studio to record actual music. And that was the beginning of another education, Huh? That was like 2000, maybe 2004. Yeah, around 2003, 2004. The song that made us blow up, I think, was Kapuka This, and it was a diss track. Those days we used to diss. We used to diss guys, ask anybody about the diss tracks, they'll tell you. Okay, the K-South, Kalmashaka didn't really diss guys, but if we found something that was just weird, we would call them out on it, Yeah, so we did diss tracks. We did Kapuka This was the record that I think really helped K-South. And Kapuka just means that beat, boom, kapuka, boom, kapuka. So we noticed that all the artists were using the same beat. So we were like, it sounds like Kapuka, So I coined that phrase, Kapuka. So I called them Kapuka MCs, and from there it was on. I didn't even really mean to diss them. It was I just called them, these are Kapuka MCs, So from there, I think the controversy kind of started from there, and it got pretty big. Yeah, but I think it was friendly competition, I think it was good for the industry also because just the chatter about it, just the vibes, just like, oh, this guy's hotter than that guy, oh no, those guys are better than these guys, that gave Kenyans like some excitement, it was fun. Yeah, there was something to talk about, and finally, we were talking about our own vibes as opposed to talking about like people in the U.S. or artists in the U.S. or in the U.K. or somewhere else. We had a thing of our own. Yeah, I think that was important. Because I had grown up in the U.S. Until I was Kitu 15. Then coming back to Kenya and going to school and whatnot. Obviously that American mixed with Kenyan vibe was in me since I was, a kid. So, definitely whatever was popular in America, we also loved it here. So, I think it was just natural. It was just a natural fit. So, we just started creating music, and the popular genre at the time was hip hop. I think it still is, but right now it's morphed into, more Kenyan, more Afro beats, more Amapiano. So, and as music keeps evolving, I think new regions are coming up with their own sounds. I think that's important. I think Kenya still needs to come up with their own sound, because even if we rap over Amapiano beats, it's still South Africa. That's still Amapiano. You know what I mean? Like, we need our own sound. Like, that's their sound, but we need our own. But I think we can share since we're on the same continent. Yeah.
Talking about K-South,
Yeah.
for how many years were you a team, and when did you decide to go solo?
We were a team for maybe until around 2005, when around 2004 I went solo. We went solo. And I think around then is when I released Kompe ni Kompe Rosafi. Mtu aje ajitete Rosafi. So that single kind of went, it blew up, and as a result I started touring. We would go to Tanzania and tour. I would come back, and then I went to the U.S. in 2005. So I started touring in the U.S. and got into the music industry in the U.S. So, and I think that was really cool because, man, I was meeting a lot of the stars that we really celebrate here in Kenya. So I was able to meet these guys like in real life. So I was really excited. I was meeting like Akon. Yeah, like Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Swiss Beats, Styles P. I don't know if you've heard of Styles P. Maybe The Locks. So I was meeting these guys, and it was really cool. I think, who else did I meet? Just guys from Akon's label. Akon has a label called Convict Music. Yeah. So I met a lot of those. There's this guy who sings with auto-tune all the time. What's his name? T-Pain. Yeah. I met T-Pain in New York. That was really cool. I was excited about that. Yeah. While I was in the States, I began to see what these hip-hop guys are doing behind the scenes. Like these superstars. I mean, big, huge international superstars. Like, I began to see what they were doing behind the scenes. And I was like, man, I'm not cool with that stuff. I'm cool with the music. I love to have a good time like anybody else, but hey, boss, these guys behind the scenes were doing things that, and then, you're not even supposed to talk about it. It's supposed to be hush hush. That's why they always post like this. Don't talk, don't tell. And they love to do the posing like this, or the cover one eye and things like that. So, me, I was just excited about music. Like, wow, I really get to do music in America. Wow, what an opportunity. But then, behind the scenes, I realized that, man, a lot of these guys are in cults. They're in secret societies. Yeah. And for them, it's not really about music. For them, it's about control and power and things like that. So I realized that what they're doing is it's evil, and there's a mafia that controls the music industry, and most of those guys are gay. So really, the industry in America, the entertainment industry in America is gay. It's a gay industry. So I was finding out all kinds of crazy things. I was like, boss, ini nini. I was like, even though I want to do music, I was just, what can I say? Nilikuwa heartbroken, because it's like, this is something that I really dreamed about, only to come and find out that this is not what I was thinking. Yeah. So I think a lot of artists, even here in Kenya, if they go to the States and if they as they rise to certain levels, they'll feel like they'll realize, hey, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah.
So that could actually be the reason why some of them usually hit, and then after some time they decide to just go low.
Like you saw how Dave Chappelle just was like, okay, I'm going to Africa.
Yes. Switch.
Yeah.
So switching from hip hop to gospel, did you receive any backlash, any kind of criticism?
I mean, yeah, definitely.
High expectations with you. They knew that Bamboo was rocking the hip hop scene.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you switched to gospel.
Yeah, you know, when I came back, you know, once these people approach you, and if you turn them down, it's like it's crazy how things in your life start going crazy. Like the doors that used to be open, they start shutting. You know what I mean? The connections I used to have, one by one, they just got cut off. You know, things that I used to have easy access to before started, you know, everything. You'd be amazed how everything can go wrong. You know what I mean? Like even down to my ATM card being swallowed by the machine. Like just crazy things. I would go to the studio over and over. I go to the studio, mas steamers in a potea. I was like, "What did he got nukes?" Crazy stuff was happening, like over and over and over again. So I realized, this is not ordinary, man. This is not normal. Yeah. So I realized, there's spiritual things that are happening, and that's when I began to realize, life is spiritual. You know, life is not just what we see is the physical world, right? Yeah. But behind the scenes, life is real life. The essence of life is spiritual. Yes. Yeah. Everywhere I would go, as far as the music industry was concerned, it was like they were always trying to pull me in. You know, it's like when I was in New York, a girl I was dating she loved my music too, and she was Jamaican. She was half Jamaican, half Italian. So she was like, "Man, Bamboo, your music can blow up, but I know what you need. There's one thing missing." And I said, "Well, what's missing?" I thought it was something to do with the music. She's like, No. You need to join our society. You need to join a society." And I was like, "A society? What does that have to do with music? You know what I mean? What does that have to do with creativity and stuff like that?" Kumbe, it has everything to do with creativity. You know, it has everything to do with the industry, because that's what the true industry is. The true music industry in America. That's what it really. Behind the scenes, it's a secret society and a cult. But on the outside, it's the glitz and the glamour, the fashion, and you know, flossing and popping bottles in the club and stuff like that to show you as if, you know, this is the life. But behind the scenes, what they're doing, it's a cult. So, you know, she told me that I needed to be initiated. She even took me to you know, one of the priests, a Santeria priest. And I told him, you know, she explained to him what I wanted. Like, this guy, he's awesome, he's got an amazing talent, but, you know, he doesn't have a deal yet. He said, "Oh, don't worry about that." Like, for them, that's easy. That's the easy part, you know. So he said, you know, when you're ready, he started showing me their books, and they have literature, and like one of the books was called the 6th and 7th Book of Moses. And I'm like, man, the 6th and 7th Book of Moses. And if you read inside, there's it's like spells, like witchcraft spells and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, come, these guys behind the scenes, these guys are doing witchcraft and stuff. But I'm wondering, what does this have to do with music? You know what I mean? Why do we have to do all this stuff? Why can't we just go to the studio and record? And so, like, no, this is how you get hot. This is how you become famous. This is how you get power. So that kind of reminded me of the story in the Bible when the devil comes to Jesus and asks him, you know, look at the world, look at the glory, look at the cities, look at the money, look at everything, look at the fame. If you want this stuff, I can give it to you. But Jesus turned him down. But that's the deal that a lot of artists get offered. Yeah, to be honest with you, you know, many won't tell you. A lot of artists won't tell you. Because if you start talking about this stuff, for some reason you just become, what can I call it, unpopular. Or sometimes they don't want this information to get out there, you know. But it's real. It's in the industry, you know. Just claiming to be gospel, maybe because of the numbers, or maybe because there was an open door in that area and there wasn't an open door in secular. So he just took whatever route was easiest for them, you know. So then there's guys like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's what it was. Me, wow, maybe since 2017, 2018, But yeah, around 2017, 2018. But I was really, not really on the scene like that. I wasn't really putting my music out like that. Plus, I had a big court case against a large telecom operator here in Kenya. And I wanted to see how that goes because, artists invest a lot of money in their music. And then when a big corporation can just take your content and just sell it, and there's nothing you can do about it, that really cripples our industry, So it's important that, we be able to fight and get our rights and at least, if possible, get legal precedent in the courts so that we can protect our rights as artists. Whether you're secular or gospel, you have rights, and those rights I think should be respected by the corporate. So that kind of slowed me down. I said, you know what, let me focus on this case, and once it's done, then I can get back into the music the way I really want to. Yeah. So I've just released a song called Blessed, Too Blessed to Be Stressed. Yeah. So it's on YouTube right now, Bamboo African Band 2, Too Blessed to Be Stressed. And, I've just been releasing track after track, just audios, basically, yeah. But I haven't really been doing the rounds in media yet because I was busy, we're busy setting up Mobi, we're busy also building the catalog in terms of the album. So yeah, I've been really busy with that. So, and then, writing books also. I'm an author. I'm planning on releasing an album. It's called Land of Promise. And, I'm still kind of skeptical on the name, but it might be somewhere between that and hope. But I think that's what we need to give African youth something, to believe in, and something that can truly benefit them. Not just music, but even a way of thinking. Because music is so powerful, we can not just give them music to dance to, but also give them a way of thinking that can make them prosperous. Because, if we look at the vast majority of our people, 40% of Kenyans are living in abject poverty. So when I'm trying to come into, identify with the fans, as artists, we don't see it, but my fans, they're not living the way artists are living. You know what I mean? They're going through day-to-day life, and they need information that can help them get out of that life, and help them rise and help them make right decisions. Because imagine a young lady who believes that being a slay queen is the way to the top. You know what I mean? But you can communicate with this young lady and tell her, listen, you don't have to do that. There's the right way to get success, and there's a wrong way to get success. And if you take the shortcut, it's short-lived. You'll shine for a little while, and then all of a sudden, you're sick in the hospital or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, and those decisions can influence the way a whole generation thinks. So I think, as artists, we should be more responsible, instead of just making music about sex, about the club, about getting drunk. You know what I mean? Because if you make music about that, what are they going to do? They're going to get drunk, and once they get drunk, it's going down. So, yeah. So, and then what happens after that? Regret. You know what I mean? So, and what happens when the youth are in regret? That means the country is not headed in a good direction. So I think we have a role to play to help make sure that our youth make the right decisions. My name is Bamboo African Band 2, hip hop veteran in Kenya and East Africa. I've created music all over the world and rubbed shoulders with some of the industry's wealthiest people, and some of the lessons that they taught me, and my own 2.5, 3 years of research in the financial system in New York and all over the world are some of the concepts and principles that I've written in this book. And those same principles have helped me to get to where I am today. So for all the cool updates and all the cool people coming through like me, follow Nairobi News on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and TikTok. All right? Deuces.